You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below, and be sure to smash that like button. Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger, visits with us every Tuesday. We talk a little recruiting. Shady, how are you, man?
I'm doing well. How are you, Matt?
I'm doing great. We always appreciate the time. Let's start with what's probably the biggest storyline around here, and that's that Bo Bentley's down to his final two, LSU and Oklahoma. Shea, if you would get us caught up on timeline and what we're thinking Bentley might do.
Yeah, he eliminated Georgia from his top three. Not a shock, considered Georgia has now the number one quarterback in the country committed in Jared Curtis. So Bo Bentley, who's coming out of Texas, is down to OU and LSU, and Oklahoma was the school he kind of grew up rooting for. But at the same time, I think he's shown to have taken a pretty open mind to all the teams that have gotten into the mix for him. This past year, Matt, was his first year starting in high school football. He had waited behind another guy who went on to play college ball, but he put up big numbers and immediately started getting all the big offers. So even while kind of the Bryce Underwood fallout was happening in November, all of that, Bentley was still under-recruited compared to where he is now. So LSU wasn't too far behind the rest of the teams with an offer, and now he's a top 5 quarterback in the country and the only one who's uncommitted. So after initially kind of having a busy July, he said, hey, look, in May and start June, I'll go visit LSU. The next weekend, I'll visit OU, and after that, I'll come to a decision. So in the next month, really, I think we find out if LSU lands the top 5 quarterback or not in this class.
Shea, if they don't get Bentley, is there a plan B?
Yeah, look, Joe Sloan is not going to, be sitting with nobody, no options to turn to if Bentley ends up going to Oklahoma, given LSU was playing from behind here from the start. They've been on other guys. Now, look, they could very well get Bentley. I think that a lot of people feel that one could go either way. But if not, I'm on the side of the argument that likes that he's not taking all of July to take visits and is pushing things up, because if you end up missing on him, you still have all of June. You still have the rest of June, which is camp season. You could bring guys in to throw. You could bring guys in for visits, all of that, because in July it goes dead. You have one open weekend after that. It's dead again in August, and then you're in football season. So I'd rather not have a guy deciding in July at a position like quarterback to where you don't really have much room to pivot and get a guy onto campus quickly that you might like next. So, yes, I think if it's not Bentley, we will quickly find out kind of who is number 2 on that list of guys that they kind of really like right now.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
Shea, we had Lamar Brown in studio about a month ago or so, and he, by his own admission, he's told everybody this, right? Like LSU is his front runner, but he certainly had a wandering eye toward Texas A&M when he and I spoke. Interesting that now we know he's going to take an official visit to Texas. What can you tell us the latest is there with Lamar Brown?
Yeah, that's kind of replaced Florida State, I believe. But look, I don't think that. And I listened to your interview, and Lamar's does a good job of articulating kind of how he's feeling about the process and where he's leaning. And I don't think he's going to go too far from home. So LSU and A&M were 2 teams that have been on him a long time that made sense for a number of reasons. And then Texas has not only been recruiting him, but to be able to get an official visit, I think, is notable. They, are a team in East Texas. It's not like it's a super far drive, easy flight, and also a school that's got a lot of buzz on the recruiting trail, just like LSU. Not like LSU's got the number 1 class, but Texas has had a kind of impressive run here over the past couple of cycles with recruiting guys, and they've continued to try to dip their toe in Louisiana after the Arch Manning and Derek Williams years, which were, I guess, a few years back now, but haven't had that same big type of success recently. Obviously, Lamar being the number one player in the state is someone that they would love to get. I just don't think. I think it's too late in the game. I'm with you. I believe that LSU is the leader. I also think that the biggest competition is A&M, and anybody after that, surging beyond those teams, even Texas, would surprise me.
He's Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger, who, by the way, over at On 3, the Bengal Tiger, Shea did put in 2 RPM picks for LSU for different prospects. You want to tell us about both of them?
Yeah, both in-state guys for the current class. One of them is a pretty familiar last name, Dominic McKinley's younger brother, Darius. He's had an offer for a while. He started at Acadiana this past season, so landed an offer from LSU, a number of other schools, and Dominic is, going into year 2, expected Matt to start on the D-line for LSU, a former 5-star, and now Darius being heavily recruited has kind of lined up his a slew of SEC visits for June, and then we'll decide soon. I think he wants to do it on his birthday in November. I'd be a bit surprised if he waits that long, but who knows? I think in the end he's going to end up at LSU as a kid that's not just in state, but already has ties to the program with his brother being here. And the other is a much kind of more off the radar name, I would say, but coming out of Winsboro, Des Ellis, who helped Franklin Parish an unbelievable year getting to the Dome, but played quarterback, kind of played all over for him, really, but is someone that Corey Raymond offered at corner, and he's your typical Corey Raymond multi-sport athlete, long, and while he's playing corner now, we've seen guys make that transition before, and he does play some defense now, so they really like him at corner. And look, they've got one corner committed in the top 10 nationally, and Haven Finney out of California, and right now Ellis is the only guy in Louisiana who Raymond's been pushing for at corner in this crop of rising seniors. So I would keep an eye on it. Not many times they're landing a Franklin Parish or a Winsboro guy. So Des Ellis can make a little, LSU recent history, at least, if he ends up committing to LSU, which I think he does.
Shea, one quick follow-up on McKinley, because a lot of people are naturally going to ask, so I'll ask you the question. Is that a situation where if his last name wasn't McKinley, is he a prospect that's getting an LSU offer?
Yes, I think so. I mean, and look, still, right now, teams like Florida, Texas, others did not sign Dom McKinley, and they're hosting him for summer official visits. So, yeah, I would say as a guy who's pretty unanimously ranked in the top 15 range, 20 in Louisiana, that most of his offers are SEC offers and ones that are pretty, legit and you can commit to, and most certainly he could, to LSU and others. So, yeah, I think that he would have earned this on his own.
On Twitter, at Shea Dixon. Y'all give him a follow. Of course, On 3, the Bengal Tiger. Speaking of On 3 as well there, Shea, the new On 300 is out. Man, Louisiana is well represented. Where do we start here with the new On 300, Shea?
Yeah, they updated the On 300 to the top 300 recruits in America for the 2027 class, which are all the guys that are a year younger. These guys will be playing as juniors this fall. But boys start at the top. The number 3 player in America is Zyron Forstall coming out of Jesuit. Anyone who's a Jesuit fan knows who he is. He was wearing 0 out there, and is ranked as the number 2 edge rusher because the number 1 overall player is an edge rusher as well. But to have a top 3 overall prospect in Louisiana and to be a D lineman edge rusher is a big deal. And then you look up and knocking on the door of top 10 overall is the number 1 interior offensive lineman, Albert Simeon. He's playing over in Lake Charles at Sam Houston. He's a guy who's been, like all these guys I'm talking about, have got LSU offers already. He's been on campus a bunch, so they'll be a priority. So right there, you've got an O lineman and a D lineman, Matt, who are viewed as 2 of the 11 best players right now on the On3 rankings for that class. And then down inside the top 15 overall, the new number 2 Easton Royal, who was already ranked high. We had him in the top 30, and then he just tore up the track scene this spring, which, obviously you love to see because that translates so well in football, certainly at receiver. So LSU, or Louisiana, I should say, home to 3 of the top 15, but 13 total guys in the top 300. So multiple safeties. Aiden Anding's younger brother, Jaden Anding, out of Ruston, made a big jump into the top 200 as one of the top safeties in the country. So We talk about it every couple of years, like, hey, look, Louisiana's about to be deep again, and that's what it'll be next year. And look, I think double-digit of these guys already have LSU offers pretty early on, if not close to it. So LSU's going to be on them early and often, and in the NIL and reps and all that days, the strategy doesn't change. You're trying to get Louisiana's best locked up, and I think with the staff having been on the road, Matt, the past few weeks, again, that they have familiar themselves pretty well with. It was good early on for extra state, and I think offers are about to keep going out.
Shea, one more for you here. Xavier Griffin, who's a 5-star, decommitted last week from USC, which bumped LSU back to the number 1 class. Alabama apparently is trending. He's out of Georgia. One of the things we had heard. What's the latest there on Griffin?
Yeah, I think Steve Wiltfong wrote about this today or yesterday, but obviously a lot of people saying, hey, look, they didn't think that Griffin would end up backing off USC, and if so, would that just mean Georgia and Kirby lock him up? He mentioned him being a Georgia kid, but the buzz right now is all around Bama. I think his grandma's living in Tuscaloosa, and he's got some kind of ties to the area. The staff has been on him for a long time, so signs are pointing that way, but Wiltfong said, hey, look, Texas is trying to jump in the mix here. Obviously, LSU and the who's who of any team in the Southeast will try to get involved, but it seems most people are thinking, hey, look, watch out for Bama, not Georgia here, kind of right out of the gates when it comes to a pretty big, shocking decommitment for a kid who was on board with USC, and they had been going, as you said, back and forth with LSU for the number 1 class. To lose that commitment, I think stings, given they've had some trouble hanging on to guys from the Southeast in recent years.
On Twitter, at Shea Dixon, On3 the Bengal Tiger, getting into busy season with camp season right around the bend. Great time to go check out the Bengal Tiger over at On3. Shady, we always appreciate it, man. We'll do it again next Tuesday.
Sounds good. Thanks, Matt.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.